Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the program Agenda. I'm your host, Cito Beltran, welcoming you to this third day of May here on Agenda. Maraming salamat po. Thank you to all of you who are subscribers of Cignal TV, viewers of One News PH on channels 8 and 250, and followers of the program Agenda. It's a Tuesday, and it's the first week of May, the third day of the month, and we continue to pursue interesting topics. Medyo kung kayo po ay nagsasawa na sa puro politika, maiba naman tayo, and we continue to pursue the topic of nuclear energy options in the Philippines, because today we will be speaking with a director of the Philippine Nuclear Research Institute under the Department of Science and Technology. And we will also be speaking to someone on a different topic. Aside from nuclear energy, we will be speaking to someone who was recommended by our training coach, or hindi. Let me be truthful, by my wife's training coach, kasi ako po, I am neither training nor being coached kasi lumalapad na naman po ako. But today, we will be speaking with someone regarding yoga and meditation as well. Because a friend of mine pointed out to me recently, Cito, you're not getting enough rest, you're under stress, but it is not emotional stress. You just have too many things on your mind and you need to chill. Okay, but we will talk about nuclear energy and chilling later in the program. But first, let's go to our daily starter. For those of you na nangangamba, who are concerned about the future, about your jobs, concerned about a certain situation because you are overwhelmed by people who are powerful or situations that are beyond your control. Allow me to read you a verse from the book of Isaiah, chapter 14, verse 27. And I declare, all the forces of darkness cannot stop what God has ordained. Whatever the case may be, pag yan ginusto ng Panginoon, kahit si Satanas pa ang magpilit, it is not going to be thwarted, because what God has ordained, His will be done. Okay, I'm just reading that to you. All the forces of darkness cannot stop what God has ordained. So, manalagi kayo, stay focused on your walk, on your journey, on your purpose, because you will succeed if that is where God wants to bring you. Now, let's go to the front page of the Philippine Star, and ito po, ito yung mga masasakit na mga headline. It's also reflective of government politics and the corrupt justice system in this country. Today's front page of the Philippine Star, May 3, 2022, the headline, former Bureau of Corrections OIC said, Aguirre wanted De Lima framed. Okay, ex-Bucor OIC stated Aguirre wanted De Lima framed. Former Bureau of Corrections officer in charge Rafael Ragos yesterday claimed he was coerced by then Department of Justice Secretary Vitaliano Aguirre into saying that he delivered at least 10 million in drug money to finance the 2013 senatorial bid of former Justice Secretary Laila de Lima. Okay, whatever the case may be, the facts are that he is already the second person, okay, to retract the testimony against Senator De Lima, who has been in detention, in jail for all intents and purposes, okay, and now lumalabas. wala naman palang katotohanan yung sinasabi tungkol sa kanya. At the top of the front page, 2 foreign visitors in Palawan test positive for COVID. Okay, a group of tourists or foreign visitors who landed at the Palawan Airport, International Airport, ended up being positive for COVID-19 while on a diving trip somewhere into Bataha. They have since then been brought to a facility where they are being treated. Next, COMELEC has declared Jimenez still spokesman. James Jimenez remains as the face of the Commission on Election in spite of the ongoing investigation regarding the failed vice presidential debates last 2 Saturdays ago. BBM Sara maintained lead in the Pulse Asia survey. Okay, and then at the bottom, in the middle, you have that photo of our brothers of the Muslim community who are celebrating Eid al-Fitr, or the end of the holy month of Ramadan, yesterday in front of the Golden Mosque in Quiapo. Meanwhile, passengers have arrived at the Clark International Airport's new terminal building, which opened yesterday. May 3 declared regular holiday for Eid al-Fitr. It is no longer just, a presidential proclamation. It is an official proclamation, okay? And it is now an official holiday. COVID cases rising in 3 regions, namely Mimaropa, Bicol, and Eastern Visayas. Okay, yan po yung increased positivity rates, okay? Pero meron din pong mga ibang areas na tumataas na din. Bagamat mahina ang pagtaas, mabagal ang pagtaas, tumataas ang dami ng mga kaso. And DOH, National Vaccination Operations Center, are discussing jobs in voting centers or vaccinations during election day. Sad news, 8 dead in UP campus barangay fire. And then bill punishing cyber crooks awaits Rodi signature. Okay, that's an important piece of legislation approved by Congress, imposing harsh penalties on cyber criminals who prey on banks and hack accounts of depositors. And finally, you have a photo there of PGA Cars Future Now program displaying one of the Porsches of PGA that is how do you call it? Hindi naman electronic, si hybrid, okay? Hindi, ayun yun, okay. Electric Porsche Taycan and Audi e-tron range. Okay, so pasensya na kayo. Talagang I am already out of the motoring thing. Now, let's go to our main part of the show, our interviews. Yesterday, our friend, Congressman Mark Huangco, sent me a Facebook post of a news item regarding a report on the Philippine Star where a South Korean firm had actually indicated interest in running, operating, or being equity partners in the Bataan nuclear plant. Okay, so hinabol po namin yon kagabi, and we managed to connect with the director of the DOST Philippine Nuclear Research Institute, Dr. Carlo Arcilla. Let's check if Dr. Arcilla is available now. Dr. Arcilla, good morning po.
Morning po. Good morning. I'm in my farm kaya medyo choppy, but yun po. I'm here po. Nandito po ako.
Okay, could you turn on your camera, Doc? I remember seeing you earlier.
Let me see. My camera is on, but I turned off because I'm on phone patch po, sir.
Naka-phone patch. Okay, naka-phone patch si Dr. Arcilla. Okay, my apologies, Doctor. Okay, so Dr. Arcilla, you are the director for the DOST Philippine Nuclear Research Institute. Is that correct?
Yes po, yes po.
Okay, and I don't know if you got to watch the program yesterday, but I was speaking with Congressman Marco Wangco regarding the nuclear option in terms of our power or energy mix assigned by President Duterte. Ano po ang reaction ninyo dito sa panukala or this decision of the President to include the nuclear option for our power and energy?
Okay. Unfortunately, I couldn't attend the talk yesterday. But regarding the nuclear option, situation is like this. You know, our energy security is precarious at best. 65% of our energy is coming from coal, and most of it is imported from Indonesia. And then 40% of Luzon's power is coming from Malampay, which is rapidly being depleted. And, you know, so what will you do? I'm not even talking about pollution coming from fossil fuels. So we have a very serious issue. Now, what will happen is this. Sabi ng iba, ang dami namang wind and solar, so bakit pa tayo mag-nuclear? Wind and solar are very, very welcome. No, in fact, because we have a lot of them. But the issue with wind and solar is that they're only available 30% of the time. So what do you do with the 70%? You need a backup, and that backup typically now is coal. So we're forced in a very difficult situation. And Malampaya is running out. You know, may problema nga dun eh. Mukhang pagbebenta noon ay naging highly questionable pa, di ba po? Now, geothermal, we're number 2 in the world, but we have maxed out our geothermal resources. So we have no choice but to look at alternative sources. And the cleanest and one of the cheapest energy sources now in the world is nuclear energy. That cannot be denied. In fact, nuclear supplies 10% of the world's energy now. It's the largest clean energy in the world at use right now. So it is just being prudent to consider this nuclear energy, considering our situation. For example, if we had a lot of hydro like Vietnam and Thailand, then maybe we wouldn't even consider it. But right now, during the summertime, and we are an archipelagic country, we cannot rely so much on hydro also. So we're painted into a box. And then, you know, in the 80s, when your dad I was studying in UP, and, you know, nagkaroon ng maraming brownouts after the closure of the Bataan nuclear plant. You know, we cannot go back to that situation now. I mean, sobrang akong paghihirap ang nangyari. No, we've lost so much. We cannot afford to have another energy crisis. Yun lang po. Thank you very much.
Okay, Dr. Carlo, could you elaborate on that word precarious? Because, you know, para doon sa mga hindi masyado nakakaintindi, ano mong ibig niyong sabihin na precarious o alanganin, tagilid yung sitwasyon natin sa kuryente?
Okay, una po, ganito, napakamahal ng kuryente natin, ano? We have one of the most expensive electricity rates in the world and one of the most expensive, especially in Asia. And more than that, kung titignan niyo ang isang typical median Filipino family, may isang ref yan, walang aircon, ang binabayad niya sa kuryente every month at least 1,000. So kung inuwi nilang pera ay mga 10,000, 15,000, ibig sabihin 10% ng kanilang inuuwing pera ay nagugugol sa kuryente. Yan po ang metric na napaka malupit. If you look at that, the percent of the take-home pay that you pay for your electricity, we are very, very high. It's not the kilowatt per hour use. And because the rich people will pay their electricity anyway, bali wala sa kanila yun, no? Yung precarious, bakit alanganin? Illustrate ko lang po one example. Nung January po, kasi almost 90% of our coal comes from Indonesia, and which supplies 65% of our electricity need. Sabi ng Indonesia nung January, I don't want to export any more coal. So suddenly we're put in a very difficult situation. Nangyari na po yan dati. So we had to import from Australia nung nagkaroon ng problema sa ICs o yung problema sa Mindanao. No? So the shipping lanes were clogged. That is what I mean by energy precarious energy situation. At saka maupaubos na po itong manampaya. At saka hindi tayo makapag-build dyan ng kapalit sa kanya sa ating West Philippine Sea. It takes more than, assuming makakuha ka ng kapalit na manampaya, it will take more than 10 years to develop that. Ngayon, nag-aalinlangan tayo to drill replacement wells. Hindi ganun kadali makakuha ng gas source. I can speak on that because I am geologist. I was head of UP's NIGS for 9 years. So yan po, ipit po tayo. Ngayon, ayaw man aminin ng mga ibang tao, ganyan na mangyayari. So, one of the things, ang kagandahan po ng nuclear, kasi because of its energy density, number one, uranium is more common than coal, more accessible than coal. Number two, just to illustrate po, kung pinaandar po natin sa Bataan Nuclear Power Plant, ang fuel po niyan will cost $20 million, will fit inside a jeepney, and will last for 18 months. Isang taon kalahati, walang ginagawa, yung binabantayan lang niya. Okay? Tapos, so ganun. Ngayon, if that were a coal plant, 620 megawatts, for 18 months, the coal that you will need will be 50 Panamax ships. A Panamax ship is 50,000 tons. Ang importation cost mo before the price increase was at least $600 to $700 million. So $700 million versus $20 million, not counting the pollution. Hindi na kailangan i-memorize yan. Kaya nga, medyo nagugulat ako, ang bagal natin gumalaw sa nuclear po. Thank you po.
Okay. Dr. Doc Arcilla, how much time do we have left? Kasi alam mo, magpapalit na tayo ng gobyerno, administrasyon, I mean, new administration coming in, and everyone is saying that kawawa, the next administration is going to face so much problems and challenges. But, you know, it all comes to a stop if we have no electricity or we have power shortages. How much time do we have left bago magkawindang-windang?
Actually, hindi ko po alam yan. Sa DOE po yan. Pero ang suspicion ko, we don't have much time. Kasi po, ganito, anong tawag dyan? Una, if we are going to rehabilitate the BNPP, it's only 620 megawatts, you know? And that will take at least 5 years. Mabuti nga may offer na. Actually, interesting. May offer po sa South Korea to rehabilitate it. And they're credible because they have an exact model of the BNPP working for almost 40 years. They recovered the investment in 6 years. So South Korea could be there. But we will have to develop other sources. Ang 10 po ngayon tinatawag ang small modular reactors. They are safer, maliliit lang siya, and then it's perfect for our island situation, yung mga islands na hindi nakakabit sa grid, no? So yun po yung kaya nga dapat talagang decisive yung magiging susunod na presidente kasi ang mangyayari diyan baka maging dark ages ulit tayo. Nangyari nung late 80s. Ang sakit po nun.
Yung nabansagan nga yung presidente noon, si Cory, na reyna ng kadiliman kasi nawalan talaga tayo ng kuryente.
Pinatay kasi yung nuclear power plant because of fake news. Sabi may fault at saka volcano. Those are both fake news. I know because I did independent studies on them. Anyway, yun po. Wala na po natin angkutin yung nakaraan.
Okay, yes. Now, Dr. Arcilla, matanong ko lang, no? What about all these claims that delikado yung nuclear plant na yan and that it's a threat to the environment and it will be too expensive, etc. What's your reaction to all of that?
Let's discuss it one by one. Yung sinasabing delikado, Okay.
Mhm.
There are 450 nuclear plants operating in the world, almost 100 in America. And American nuclear plants have been running almost 60 years, supplying 20% of their energy. So ang sagot ko po dyan, if it is unsafe, why does America tolerate almost 100 nuclear power plants operating 60 years? And they're even giving them a license for another 20 years. So
Mhm.
magiging 8 years. Saan ka nakakita ng plantang 80 anyos nang tumatakbo? So, yun po yung ano. Tapos, so if it's unsafe, why does America allow them? Okay? Number two, it is wala pong emission yan. Walang binubuga sa loob pag tumayo ka dyan. Meron siyang nuclear waste which can be safely disposed of. Pero isa pang usapan yan, I can discuss how we are going to dispose of nuclear waste. So yan po, that 20% of America's power source comes from nuclear. Marami tayong relatives na sa Amerika. Ang mura ng kuryente doon kasi partly nuclear, no? In fact, ngayon, ang problema sa Europe, si Germany, which is actually developed the most advanced technology sa wind at saka sa solar, ipit sila kasi 70% ng kanilang energy nanggagaling sa Russia, yung gas. Nuclear. Ang decision nila after Fukushima is to close their nuclear plants. Ngayon, they might have to go back on that kasi wala silang mapupuntuhan. And this is Germany already, the biggest economy in Europe. So yan po yung isang, tapos so unsafe yan. Totoong nagkaroon ka nga ng mga tawag dito ng disasters. Chernobyl, isang dahilan po yan ng ginamit ng advisors ni Cory na ipasara yung BNPP. Ang di po nila alam, ibang-iba ang design ng natawag kong Soviet design at saka nung Western design. Number one difference po ng safety, ganito. Kung napupunta po kayo malapit sa aming opisina, ang aking opisina ay katabi ng UP sa Commonwealth, yung itlog, no?
Yung itlog sa Commonwealth.
Sa Commonwealth. Bakit may itlog dyan? May itlog po yan. Ang tawag dyan ay containment structure. By the way, may nuclear fuel pa kami dyan. We are nuclear since 1960s. Nandyan pa, active pa, pero research reactor po yan. Ang ibig sabihin po ng itlog na yan, kung may aksidente man, makukontain doon sa loob yung yung products ng accident. Yung sa Chernobyl po, yung Soviet design, walang ganyan, walang containment structure. Ang tawag na communist design. They share everything, including disaster. Nung sumabog po yan, talagang ang daming naapektuhan. At saka ang to my mind, the most criminal thing that they didn't even warn the people that there was an accident. Nakita niyo yun sa Chernobyl na show. So, yun po yung, tapos, let's say, sa Fukushima naman, nangyari 2011, magnitude 9 earthquake. Ang nakasira po ng doon ay yung, kasi na tsunami yung kanilang cooling system. Sinabi na yung mga Hapon, yung cooling system, yung itaas nyo yan, nabahan ng tsunami. Kung hindi nila, actually nilipat nila yung diesel engines to cool off, walang nangyari sanang ganyan. So every accident in nuclear is studied very carefully to avoid it. No? Kung mangyayari sa BFPP, for example, mahirap mangyari po yung sinasabing, anong tawag yan, yung tsunami. Kasi una, ang elevation ng BNPP is higher than the tsunami in Japan. Okay. So, all the 450 nuclear plants in the world did a stress test on the Fukushima. So, they're very particular about this. Ako naman po, kung marami nga tayo ng tawag dyan, ng hydro at saka geothermal, bakit pa ako pupunta sa nuclear? Ang problema, maxed up na tayo sa dalawa. Ipit tayo, tapos yung ating natural gas, wala, binenta na. Tapos pinagbabawalan pa tayo mag-drill. So, saan ka pusoy ang mangyayari sa atin if we don't look for an alternative. Tapos yung nagsasabi naman na kaya ng wind and solar, they are over-promising. They know that. Kasi yun nga, ang availability nila is 30%. So yan po yung At saka in terms of safety, per kilowatt hour number of deaths, the safest is nuclear, even and wind. Yun po.
So it turns out that if we're going to discuss efficiencies, yung solar, they say has a lifespan of 15 to 25 years, but in order to have continuous power, you have to have so many batteries. Pagdating naman sa wind, ganun din. Kailangan may hangin At kailangan mo rin isang katutak ng baterya. At pag
Opo.
nalaos na yung mga or na-expire na yung mga baterya, problema na naman kung saan itatambak or saan ilalagay.
Opo, opo. Actually, ang importante hindi alam ng kababayan natin for the electric vehicles at saka electric, ang kailangan dyan ay critical metals. Most important is cobalt and nickel. Ang dami, meron po tayong cobalt and nickel na binibigay natin ng libre lang sa mga intik kasi ina-export natin ng yung raw ores natin na walang processing sa mga nickel mines. Bakit natin ina-export na walang processing? Kasi mahal po ang kuryente. Doon na pupunta palagi yung usapin. Hindi tayo makapag-process dito, manufacture, kasi ang mahal ng kuryente. Ang daming apektado. Yung mga kababayan ko ngayon, bibili ka na lang ng appliance, anong titinan mo? Kaya bang bayaran yung kuryente? Pag dumarating yung bill, napakasakit.
Yeah, Dr. Arcilla, pagpasensya mo na, no, medyo science talaga itong nuclear power na ito at saka yung community ninyo. You're all scientists. Kami, puro kami rocket, wala kaming science. Now, matanong ko lang, you've reviewed, I assume, or at least you've read through the proposals of the different South Korean firms who have indicated interest in reviving, starting up the Bataan nuclear plants, etc. How does it look to you? Is it something worth for the next administration to seriously consider in spite of? Kasi alam mo, maraming aangal, maraming ngangaw-ngaw, pero pag wala na silang kuryente o puro blackout na, doon hihingi sila ng, doon bibigay sila ng approval.
Actually po, ang advice ko kung sino man ang mananalo, merong nagsabi niya na talagang na siya doon sa nuclear power. Pero kung sakali man i-consider man ng mananalong presidente yung nuclear, dapat pag-isipang mabuti at saka i-consider itong offer ng South Korea. Bakit po? Number one, they have an exact model, eksaktong twin ng BNPP, which they have run for almost 40 years. Nanganak na ng 4 na nuclear power plants yung kanilang pinapatakbo. In fact, if we're going to revive the BNPP, doon tayo magta-training sa kanila. And South Korea, by the way, is one of the best producers now of nuclear power. Nagpagawa po sila ng four brand new nuclear power plants sa UAE, which is an oil-rich country. Why will an oil-rich country build 4 brand new nuclear power plants? Tanungin na lang natin po yun. At saka mayaman po si UAE. Kung bibili siya ng nuclear plant, kukunin niya yung pinakamaganda. Yung pinili niya yung South Korea eh. Hindi niya pinili yung Russia, hindi niya pinili yung, hindi ko alam kung nag-bid yung US dyan. So we should consider the Korea. Hindi ko po nabasa yung details kasi po, according to DOE, may non-disclosure agreement daw po yan. Mm-hmm. So ang pakiusap ko na lang, sabihan natin sa Korea, please release the NDA so that everybody can look into the details. There's a very important lesson po in nuclear. Transparency is very, very, very important because of safety and to avoid any hint of corruption. Kung may tinatago, may dahilang itatago. Mm-hmm. Kung manggagaling kasi sa mga Koreanong sabi, okay, we release the NDA. Kasi wala namang, ano bang itatago? Nuclear technology, nuclear power technology is quite old. Matanda na po yan eh. Sabi ko nga, mas complicated pang ang technology ng jet engines kaysa sa nuclear power plants. Kaya sabi nila, kaya ba ng Pilipinong patakbuhin ang nuclear plants? Ang laking insulto po sa mga engineers natin. Yung gumawa po ng nuclear power plants doon sa South Korea, nakausap ko lang isa sa managers nila, ang daming Pinoy na engineers na involved. Kung sakaling bigyan natin ng mga sweldong maayos yan, uuwi po at tutulong sa atin yan. Huwag natin sabihin hindi natin kaya. Malaking insulto sa kakayahan ng ating mga scientists at engineers. Thank you po.
Okay, well that's good to hear, and in fact yun nga yung tatanong ko dapat sa inyo. kung meron ba tayong enough manpower or qualified individuals. Ay yung pala, nandoon na silang lahat sa South Korea at nagtatrabaho na doon sa mga nuclear facilities. So, Dr. Arcilla, thank you very much for your time this morning at sana po ay sa susunod ay makapanayam ko kayo na para makita naman ng mga viewers natin yung forma mo. And we hope to learn more from you. Thank you very much, sir.
Salamat po. Marami pong salamat. Go UP,
Okay.
go UP.
Go UP. Okay, nakaisa. Okay. Nakapatay ng higante ko, no? Okay, that's Dr. Kaloy Arcilla, Director of the Philippine Nuclear Reactor, ano ba yun? Philippine Nuclear Research Institute, yung Philippine Nuclear Reactor, yun po yung sinasabi ni Doc Arcilla na itlog, that egg-shaped building that you see when you drive at in the UP area along Commonwealth. And we will go for a quick break. When we return, medyo relax muna tayo. Let's learn about this intriguing subject matter. We all hear about yoga. We all hear about meditation. But you know, if I interviewed 10 persons regarding this, they all have 10 different definitions of yoga and meditation. We'll go to our next guest to discuss what it's all about here on Agenda. Welcome back to the program Agenda. I'm your host, Cito Beltran, and thank you to all of those who are viewing us from different parts of the country, of the U.S., and of the world through Facebook and YouTube. Maraming salamat po sa inyong patuloy na panunood ng Agenda. Okay, let's move on to our next topic. And as I mentioned, I decided to find someone regarding yoga and meditation because last Holy Week, a friend pointed out to me that we could do all the things to relax, like go on trips, have massages, go on vacation. But at the end of the day, if our mind does not calm down, if we are not able to tune out all of the distractions, we never really get enough rest. And so my friend said, why don't you look for someone who can talk to you about meditation and yoga? So we tried looking for someone, and it's not easy, mind you. These people, these yoga instructors, advocates, they're all over the world. They're all busy. They have so many clients, but we are fortunate to have with us someone who is a certified yoga instructor. Meron na palang certification ng pagiging yoga instructor, an American College of Sports Medicine certified clinical fitness professional, and a certified, ito kinakatakutan ko, Muay Thai instructress. Kumbaga, martial arts instructress and an active lifestyle advocate. Let's bring in Macy Elarde-Fresnoza. Macy, good morning.
Good morning po, Sir Cito Beltran. Good morning po sa lahat ng viewers.
Thank you for joining us this morning. Matanong ko lang, could you give us an idea para doon sa mga na wow or who find when you talk to them about yoga, you know, they kind of zone out because they think it's a religion, it's spirituality, etc., etc.
Basically, yoga po is it is as simple as the training of the mind to focus and to cease the fluctuations, the unnecessary thoughts that goes on inside the mind. It's the yoga practice, all of the practices of yoga. There are different types of yoga. And one of the most popular practices of yoga, which is the Hatha Yoga, the physical practice of yoga. This practice of yoga is geared towards attaining a calm, clear state of mind. So in each session, we, the yoga teachers, we aim to give our students space where they can harness their ability to focus. So what we do is we teach them how to, or we condition them, we train them how to observe the sound of their breath, and how they feel about their body in each poses. We teach them how to draw their view, their focus on each part of their body, either on the hand, on their navel, etc., so that they can harness internal awareness rather than the external and the noise or etc. No, so when our students gain this ability to focus, then we hope that they can bring this off the mat so that in difficult situations, they're more focused on their responses rather than on what goes outside or etc. or blaming someone for that difficult situation. No? So we are hoping that they can bring the practice of the mat. No? So that's it.
Okay, now
training the mind.
Yeah, Macy, who are the people who would benefit a lot from practicing yoga? Because in my case, as I pointed out, may confirmation na kumbaga no, it checks out because when I went to the Rizal, when I went to my doctor at Rizal Medical Center, he told me na I don't have sleep apnea. My problem is that my mind isn't resting.
Yeah.
Yung katawan mo tulog o akala mo tulog ka pero yung utak mo gising for practically, sabi niya, for 6 hours every night. Your mind is still alert. So it makes sense for me to do that. But who are the other people who would benefit from the exercise of yoga?
It's actually po hindi lang yung mga katulad nating adult na maraming responsibilidad no, na iniisip araw-araw ang nakaka-benefit from yoga. Actually, I am also a public school student and I am a witness to how my students were being so affected by overthinking. One of my students po burst out no, nung kinamusta ko siya, kamusta ka? Ano ba ang may pinagdadaanan ka ba ngayon? And then she bursted out and told me na she's bombarded by several thoughts na hindi niya ma-manage, no? Because of several things, no? Pressure from studies, pressure ng magulang, pressure ng ano. So we in our yoga school, we promote yoga for the youth, no? So yoga is good for the youth because they are also being they also suffer from overthinking, businessman as well, those who are in management. Also, I mean, we all need an activity that will teach us how to clear our mind, how to sit in silence, focusing only on our breath, and hopefully, no, when we practice this daily, I mean, kahit every morning po, kahit 5 minutes in a day, kung yun lang ang makocommit natin, sitting down in silence, thinking of allowing the thoughts to just arise in the mind, observing them, no, and training the mind, training ourselves not to be affected by these thoughts. Ito po yung magbibigay ng daan, no? Consistent practice, ito yung magbibigay ng daan for us to be able to manage more our thoughts na hindi tayo nito maaapektuhan, no, during while we perform our daily tasks, no, even kapag magpapahinga na tayo, no, when these thoughts tend to distract us from resting, no, yung time natin to sleep, no, andyan yung thoughts nag-a-arise. If we have this skill of silencing these thoughts, then we will be able to have rest. No? So doon sa yoga practice, sa physical practice ng yoga, yun po yung itinuturo namin sa students namin. Sa 1-hour session namin, we allow them to, we train them not to think about, no, set aside everything and just focus on the breath, focus on how the body feels in its poses, etc. So,
Macy, some people might say, "Oy, nako, you're trying to escape from reality. That's avoiding what you need to confront, etc." What is the objective here? Kasi yung iba, pag sinabi mong yoga, nako, Cito, hindi nga ako makaluhod eh. Pababaluktot mo pa yung aking binti. And then we were just showing your videos there, some videos of people doing, headstands, the lotus position. Eh sabi mo, umupo lang. You said just sit down in a chair for 5 minutes. I mean, is it that simple, really?
Yeah. Actually, the goal of yoga is not to touch the toes, no, or to perform these acrobatics, no. This is just one practice of yoga, the physical practice of yoga, no. But everyone can practice yoga. Use your breath, no. Use your breath to lead you towards the clarity of the mind. So kung yun lang for now ang kaya niyong gawin, then you can do that po. Breathing awareness is doing yoga. Focusing is doing yoga as well. When it comes to the physical practice of yoga, you should search for yoga teachers that can offer you a sequence that is fit for your capabilities. So lahat po ng students ko is beginners. Almost all of my students are beginners. I have 59-year-old students and she can do headstand. But headstand is not a requirement. no? Ako lang po as a physical education teacher, since meron po akong experience in teaching movement education, I can create po modified sequences that can lead, no, from easy to mid-moderate to the deep challenging poses if gusto pa po ng student ng challenging poses. But if she wants to stay here in this pose because ito lang naman ang gusto niya lang naman ng relaxation, no, up to the students. So search for yoga instructor that can create a sequence that is good for you, especially your health conditions, especially those who have issues with their wrists, their knees, no? Kailangan alam yan ng yoga instructor. Kailangan din alam niyang mag-create ng sequence that will give you a safe session, no? Those, yung nagba-backbench po na yun na student ko, those beginners po sila, no? And what I love about yoga, about being a teacher is they feel good about themselves whenever they feel na kaya ko pala ito, akala ko hindi ko kayang abutin ito, etc. No, so the mind actually is the limitation, no? Tayo yung nagsiset noon, but katulad ng sinabi ko, find a yoga teacher that can create a sequence that is suitable for your physical needs. Kasi napaka-importante po.
Now, medyo marami na akong matatanong sa iyo, but what are the benefits, Macy? Kasi there are many people at my age level, you know, seniors and above, they can't sleep anymore. They say 4 hours na lang ako kung sumaswerte. Some are taking already melatonin, sleep aids, etc. Tapos yung iba naman, ang mga sumpa ng mga matatanda, kulang sa tulog, masakit na balakang, okay, and then yung mga tuhod. Does yoga help in any of these?
Yeah, opo. Actually, lower back pain, no, there are poses, simple poses as cat and cow pose. You can search it online, no? Kasi simple lang naman ito, no? Kahit walang supervision ng yoga instructor, no? For as long as mayroon kayong mat sa knees ninyo when you do it, because it's a kneeling position. So when you do cat and cow pose, it will release tension on the lower back, no? You can search online mga easy, no, pero dapat kaya ninyo, ano po. But better find a yoga instructor kung nag-aalangan po kayo. But yung pagtulog sa gabi, what I can advise, no, we do techniques, some exercises, some practices in yoga that involve body scanning. So pag matutulog na po kayo, you can rest, lie down on your bed, and then do body scanning from head to toe. No, relax the head, find a comfortable position for the head, relax your jaw, even your eyebrows. No, minsan kasi we tend to do this. No, na kahit normal na araw, no, na nasanay na tayo na nakaganto, so this creates tension here.
Pinapatamaan mo yata ako.
Hindi po, maski po ako, ganun din po ako. No, so what we can do, no, pag magre-relax na tayo at hirap tayo matulog, lie down on your mats and then start from the head to toe. Relax the head, find a comfortable position for the head, relax the eyebrows, relax the cheeks, the eyes, and then makakatulong po yung good light, no, yung dim light, patugtog po kayo, no, ng favorite nyong instrumental music as you do the body scanning, no, and then yung relax your jaw, sometimes we tend to may tension din dyan, relax the neck, and then soften the shoulders, so pababa po tayo, allow the body to be heavy, no, the bones to be heavy, relax the head, the entire body, and then you do breathing exercise. So yung breathing exercise po natin, slow breathing inhale, 3 counts of inhale, and then 3 counts of exhale, and then 3 counts of inhale, exhale, because these breathing exercises, physiologically speaking, can relax the nervous system. No, so ito po yung talagang magtutulong sa inyo to gain your sleep, no. So relax na ang katawan. I hope you'll be able to parang makuha niyo ang tulog niyo, kasi tinuro ko na po ito sa mga teachers sa may Kauai National High School, and ang feedback po sa akin ngayon, wala na silang nagagawang trabaho kasi sa gabi wala na silang nauuwing trabaho ay nagagawang trabaho sa gabi because nag-gain na nila yung tulog. And then consistent po. Consistent. Nasa consistency din po. And also, ang isa sa mga benefit po ng yoga, nanggagaling po talaga din sa breathing exercise because it targets yung cells. No? And kapag healthy yung ating cell, yung cellular respiration, no? Kapag healthy yung cells natin, then the tissues will be healthy, the organs will be healthy, and the entire system will be healthy. No? Also, because the body releases fluid when you move, especially doon sa joints. No? Some of my students reported that their meds have reduced, especially yung meds nila sa osteoarthritis nila. Most of my students may scoliosis at na-correct yung kanilang posture because yoga poses have a great emphasis on lengthening of the spine, proper posture po. At sa bad posture po tayo usually nagkakaroon ng sakit because when we slouch, nako-compress po yung ating diaphragm, nako-compress po yung kidney at kung ano pa pong internal organs dyan. So, nagiging acidic po tayo, no? We breathe shallow yung ating breathing, hindi deep yung ating breathing. So, dito nagkakaroon ng problema. So, yoga, no, tends to realign your spine, the body, yung posture, no? So, yun po yung some of my students hypertensive. So, nabawasan din yung kanilang meds, no? So, consistent practice po. So, yun po.
Macy, what about physique? Kasi I've noticed that people who talk about yoga, who practice yoga, who do yoga exercises are like you. They're slim people or thin people. Wala pa akong nakitang lahing bariles katulad ko na nag-yoga. Parang I have yet to see a big person who does yoga. I mean, I'm not making fun of anyone. You know? I'm using myself as the first example. Is yoga only for thin people?
No. Actually, I have students po talaga na actually mas flexible pa po yung mga malalaki yung build. No, it's just that natatakot po sila na mag-try, no, because they have this prejudice on themselves or self-doubt po. No, kung makikita niyo po yun yung mga student ko, marami pong malalaki dyan then but they begin to love their physique because despite this build, no, they were able to do these poses, etc. No, it's just that the teacher should be able to create, no, a sequence that is easy muna, and then progressively, the teacher will lead you to poses na pwede na for you in a safe manner, and then progress ulit, and then progress ulit. So, kailangan alam lang po, you should find a teacher like that po, no? Kasi some practices, no, yung ibang mga physical activities might not be good for these people na overweight, like let's say for example high impact activities involving hopping, jumping, no. So yoga is good for you since yoga po is static, no, nasa mat lang po tayo. It doesn't involve jumping, it does not involve hopping, no. So good for the knees siya, no. And it is challenging in a sense that you will carry your own weights sa ilang mga poses, but the teacher can modify this, no, until such time that you build your strength and you're ready na for the next level, no. But yoga is a safe practice for all. When you are supervised by a yoga teacher, it's a safe practice for all because it is self-paced po. Self-paced siya, hindi siya nagmamadali.
What is there? Are we talking about the same thing, or is there a difference between yoga, the practice of yoga, and meditation? Kasi people I talk to, there seems to be a confusion, and some people say it's the same. Some people know it's two different things.
Yeah, there are different practices po kasi of yoga. Some people, when it comes to the process, no, so all the practices of yoga is geared towards one goal, and that goal is to have a clear, calm state of mind. Because in this kind of state of mind, that we can attain bliss or joy. So yun po ang concept. No? Siyempre, when our mind is free from any thoughts, then we are free from suffering from these thoughts. No? Hindi tayo madidistract. We're very calm. No? Kahit anong eksena outside, you're very calm and still. So yun po yung goal ng yoga. To train the student to be always in that kind of state of mind. Now, nagkakaiba po sa mga practices. No, kami po sa physical practice of yoga, the Hatha Yoga, we use the physical posture to harness our focus because focus or unwavering concentration will lead to that clear state of mind. So that's yoga. No, yung meditation part po is part of the practice of yoga. No, so we do because through meditation we can attain that calm, clear state of mind, which is yoga. No, so any practice when you're walking and you are being very mindful of how you strike your foot on the ground. You're very mindful of this. No, then that can be a form of movement meditation. So any practice that involves focus, mindfulness, that can be a practice of meditation. When you are sitting down and you're very mindful of your breath, that can be a practice of meditation. No? Pero meron pa pong advanced level of meditation na undistracted na rin po talaga. But we can start from being mindful. No? So, focusing on one thing can lead us to mindfulness. So, sa paglalakad, when you focus on the sky or sa scenery, and you are not distracted by thoughts na ano kayong ulamin ko pagkatapos kung mag-walking, mag-jogging, ano kaya yung ganito, ganyan. So, if you refrain yourself from thinking from being madala ka ng mga ganong thoughts and you focus only on that scene na naglalakad ka, then it is a form of movement meditation. When you're doing your laundry, when you're doing your daily task, and your focus, you're very absorbed to that one thing na ginagawa mo for that moment, then you are practicing meditation.
Very interesting, Macy. I just realized that that is why I like doing very mechanical, repeated things because habang ginagawa ko yun, merong yung mga ibang bagay na alis. Anyway, Macy, for those who would like to know more or to maybe contact you and try it out, how can people reach you?
Okay po. You can reach to us po sa Facebook. We have Facebook page po at EF Yoga School. So you can search it on Facebook. Also, we have account in Instagram. So EF Yoga School. So you can also you can message us there po if you want to have sessions with us. We conduct yoga retreats. We conduct also private yoga sessions. And here po sa Bulacan, andito po yung aking regular yoga sessions, community fitness.
Thank you very much, Macy Elarde-Fresnoza, EF Yoga School. Thank you for giving us more information and understanding yoga better. Have a great day, Macy.
Thank you so much po.
Okay, and now we leave you with our final reminder, a reminder for this week as we go into the elections next week. It comes from the book of Proverbs chapter 6, verses 16 to 19. There are 6 things that the Lord hates, 7 that are an abomination to him: haughty eyes, a lying tongue, and hands that shed innocent blood, a heart that devises wicked plans, feet that make haste to run to evil, a false witness who breathes out lies, and one who sows discord among brothers. Sana po, isa puso nyo yan, yung mga bagay na ikinamumuhi ng Panginoon, yung mga gawagulo, mga sinungaling, mga nagpapakalat ng fake news, yung mga matataray, mayabang at mga sinungaling, at ika nga nila yung mga mamamatay tao. I'm Cito Beltran, thanking you for joining us today. Please keep it here on One News. That's Agenda for You.